Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the National Social Security Advisor Social Security Open Forum on this Monday, May 22nd of 2023. It's a warm day in Cincinnati, Ohio. Blue skies. I'm expecting some 80-degree temperatures later on this week and no rain in the forecast for the whole week. I'm excited about that. Not that I care. It's not like I play baseball or soccer or anything like that, or nor my kids or grandkids. Hi, Jim. Good to see you again.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
When do you mow your lawn next?
Tomorrow,
Good for you. It's going to be nice weather.
good times.
Okay, folks. Thanks for being here. We have a little smaller turnout than last time, about 17 folks or so. Jim Blair has been duplicated today. So he's been cloned.
Two of me.
Two of you. Congratulations, Jim. All right. Well, you know the drill. With the smaller crowd, I'm going to go around the screen and see what's on your mind. If we had a lot of people, I'd ask you to raise your hand. So the first person to talk to today is Bob Wright. Hello, Bob. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon from Flint, Michigan, the garden spot.
Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan.
Okay. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for being with us today.
I have no particular questions today.
Okay, Bob. Thank you. Excuse me, folks. Let's go to Paul. Oh, Paul, you there? You are there.
Yeah, I'm still. Yep. Let me see. Can you hear me all right? I'm trying to get. Yep.
We can hear you.
Okay, good. No, doing fine. No big questions I have for today there. Aside from the fact of what's your scuttlebutt you're hearing? Are they really going to try and do something this year with Social Security, or are they just mumbling?
I'd say they're just mumbling. Yeah,
Okay.
they like to talk about it, especially with the debt ceiling looming over us. But I'd be surprised if they do something, at least this year. Maybe next, hopefully.
But we got election year next year, and they don't want to.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. So they won't do it then either.
No, they won't do it. They're fine. They'll wait till somebody dies, and then they'll do something. Okay, thanks, guys.
In the sometime next sometime in the future.
Right.
2030. That's what I meant to say.
That's
2030.
Right.
There's no hurry. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Hi, Bob. Let's go to Bob.
Bob Westridge.
Yes.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Jim. Thank you. I do have a scenario. Let me I'll summarize it here and get your opinion or what if the client should do this. I've got a couple. Husband is full retirement age, and he's getting the max. He's doing well financially and getting the max benefit from Social Security. His wife has 39 quarters, so she doesn't have the 40 quarters. And is there an advantage, and her full retirement amount is going to be like around $1,200. So it'll be less than half of the amount that he's going to get. Is there a reason why she should go to work for that extra quarter to get 40 quarters?
Yeah. First of all, she doesn't have to work all quarter. All she has to do is work and make $1,700, and she'd get the additional credit.
Okay.
But yeah, by her being eligible for her own benefits, that means she could begin her own right away, as long as she's at least age 62, that is, reduced for age. That might allow the husband to wait until his full retirement age or his age 70 to collect his benefits. And when he applies, she'll get the spousal boost increase. She won't get half of his PIA, but she'll still get a pretty good amount.
Does she have to be fully insured 40 quarters to be able to get half of his benefit?
No.
So again, I'm not sure what the advantage is for her to work that extra quarter if she's going to get already half of his benefit.
She just she can start her benefits early. That's all.
But I think, didn't you say, Bob, he's already receiving?
No, he's going to wait to 70. He's 67 now, and he's going to wait till 70. So I'm not sure. So if she starts it now, she's 64. So she would start it early. She'd get a reduced benefit. And then if she started it now, then when he started his at 70, this, she would be able to get half of his full retirement benefit reduced because she took hers, but early. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So my main question though is, the client, he got a letter, she got the letter, said, hey, you have only 39 quarters, you need one more quarter to be fully insured. And I guess I just wanted to ask your question, ask your opinion. Is what's her advantage to get 40 quarters? Outside of what she's already gonna get half of his benefit anyways.
Let me just say, the main advantage is if she has 40 credits, she could begin her benefits right away. Cash flow, present value calculation. If she waits until her full retirement age anyways, otherwise she has to wait until he begins, and he's not going to begin for another 3 years or so.
Right.
And so she won't get anything for 3 years if she doesn't have her 40 credits.
Okay, so get that 40th quarter
Mhm.
in, then she can start her benefit now.
Mhm.
Although it's going to be reduced if she starts at, at age 64. But again, that means if she starts it now, then 3 years from now, when husband starts his benefit at age 70 and she gets half of his for retirement benefit, not the age 70 benefit.
The boost.
It'll the boost doesn't get the boost, but her benefit, half of her benefit is going to be reduced that percentage because she took her benefit early.
No.
It doesn't.
No, the boost will not be reduced at all because she's going to be at her full retirement age. That's kind of a key. So she'll get the whole boost added to her reduced benefit. But
Really?
But the boost is not reduced.
Okay.
Does that make
All right,
sense?
good. Yep.
Okay.
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's go to Jesselyn. Hi, Jesselyn.
Hi, everyone. So recently I had encountered a situation where I, in my heart of hearts, knew I was giving the correct information, but the client felt the need to reach out to Social Security to get their version. And of course, they received an inaccurate answer from what I gave. And so what happened was a woman had asked me about a widow's benefit in the event of her husband's passing. And I said, well, sure, you're eligible to take it at 60, but it is going to be reduced. And I said, and you are also limited as far as the amount of earnings you can earn because you will also be subject to the annual earnings test. Well, she had called Social Security and they told her, no, that's not true. And I said, it is true because of you guys giving me the best knowledge in the world. So she then called back and spoke to another person and of course got the answer that I had given her. So just frustrating when you call, an organization and you get different answers.
That's
And-
for sure.
And
And you can't
Jesselyn,
blame the lady for
Right.
thinking that they were correct. I mean, you're calling the actual agency, but doggone it, they weren't correct. So you were.
Well, thank you to you guys for giving me the knowledge.
welcome. And Jesselyn, it's really a shame that you're not able to call the actual organization or agency, like Jim said, Social Security Administration, and get the right answer. It's just too bad you can't get the right answer. But then again, that's where we teach our class. So maybe I'm not complaining too much. Just a little. Anything else, Jesselyn?
No, I just want to thank you guys for doing what you do and providing the service to all of us. And so I'm here to just learn whatever more I can.
Okay. Well, our pleasure, Jesselyn. Thank you. Hello, Elisa.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't have any new questions for today, but maybe I'll mention a question that I had emailed in last week. I had asked about a disabled child collecting once the parent has already turned their benefit on. And you guys let me know that the disabled child's benefit would be 50% of the parent's PIA, even if the parent turns on early. So that was some new info to me.
Yeah. Children's benefits and spousal benefits are always based on PIA. No matter when the number holder, that's what Jim would call that first, and no matter when the number holder turns on benefits, it's always based on PIA.
I'm glad we didn't have to answer it this time, though, in case we give a different answer like Social Security does.
Well, if you ask me or Jim, you might get different answers. All right. Anything else, Elisa?
That's it. Thank you.
Thanks. Let's go to Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Jim.
Howdy.
So I keep hearing that if the debt ceiling is breached,
Yeah.
reached, that is going to affect Social Security benefits.
Ooh.
How is that possible since the Social Security money is in a trust fund?
Well, that is because the trust fund is a whole bunch of federal IOUs. So it's really not there.
You're right.
And if they can't raise cash to, got to turn that off. If they can't raise cash to put that money back into the trust fund itself. But then again, Joe, another thing I was thinking of is this: Social Security is a standalone program. By that I mean money comes in, money goes out. We know that. So cash is always coming into the program. So that cash should be available to pay beneficiaries. Now, it's true. I would say a good portion of FICA taxes that come in is probably paid during the first few months of the year. High income earners may reach 160,200 pretty early in the year. And that leaves less money coming in later. I could accept that. But still, money coming in, that should be sufficient to some extent for the benefits to be paid. Jim, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's never happened in the past, so they've never allowed that to occur. Mark's right, money's still coming in. They could use that. If they want to try to use it as a political hammer for the other side, whichever side tries it, I think they'd suffer quite a bit. And as we've mentioned, an election year is coming up next year. Nobody would forget that. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when I see headlines,
Yeah.
you discount them immediately.
Mhm.
And because it's all political posturing anyway. It's all a bunch of
Yep.
political posturing. And so, I mean, there's money there, and right, there's money coming in. So why would he not pay the Social Security benefits? And I think it would be a detriment to whichever side decided not to do it in the long and short run and long run.
Well, I'm counting on waking up on the third Wednesday of July or June and July and see money in my bank account. I'm still counting on it. Jim, he gets up and he gets his money on the Monday before the third Wednesday.
Well, Social Security is the least of my worry. I get that whopping $350. So
That's
it's
true,
not a
babe.
ton.
You got other
it's my
worries.
civil service pension
Yeah.
I'm worried about.
Yeah, right.
Good point, Jim. Good
Yeah.
point. Okay, thanks, Joe. Let's go to Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hey guys, how are we doing today?
Everything's good. Thanks for being here.
Good. I'm probably the newest certification holder. Today is not even quite a month. So just wanted to stop in. Great advertising, the wild, wild west of Social Security.
Yeah.
So my question is more just a formality thing. For the CE credit, do we need to turn something in from these or?
Yeah, 2 years after you pass the assessment, you'll need to turn in a CE tracking form, Mark. I'll
Okay.
send that to you. You can go ahead and fill it out and pay the renewal fee at that time. Or you
Great.
can pay the lifetime renewal fee early if you want to,
Okay,
like I discussed in the class.
excellent. All right, and thanks again for the prep for the assessment, and was very prepared for it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Jim, myself, and Harold, we appreciate your attending.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Let's go to Aaliyah. Hi, Aaliyah.
Hello. So I think this was actually answered in Bob's question as we started, but I missed some important detail because I'm probably going to have to ask it again. So I had a client come in the other day. He was saying he started Social Security at his full retirement age, and his wife is turning 62 this year, getting ready to turn hers on. She was definitely a low income earner, so expecting a spousal boost for her. And the question was whether or not it will get reduced because she's starting early or not because he worked till full retirement age.
See, she's going to begin her benefit and and the boost before full retirement age, both parts will be reduced for age.
Okay,
The only way the boost is not reduced for age if she becomes eligible to receive that at her full retirement age. Then she gets the whole boost.
okay. Great, thank you.
Thanks, Aaliyah. Jim, anything to add?
Yep, that's absolutely correct. It's based on her age, when she files. Any reduction.
Let's go to Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so kind of piggybacking on I hope I'm saying this right, Jesselyn. Okay. We have the same issue, and it doesn't come up a lot, but you know, people like to Google things, and that's great, and they're involved in, you know, their own retirement planning. So when you have a client challenge your position on the answer that you're giving them of the question for Social Security, what are some good resources or client-facing just resources that people use to defend their position? Like, oh, it's, you know, it's right here in writing.
A lot of times on the Social Security website, they have information. If it's not the particular topic you're looking for, worst case scenario, you can look at Palms
Okay.
and you get the information off of there. And that's what Social Security employees use. So you could show that to them.
Okay.
And if you
Thank
need
you.
help with that, you can always ask us and we can help you research it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, Michael. Okay. You there?
Are you there? I'm here. How are
Okay.
you guys?
Well, good. Thanks. Thanks for being here.
Good. Nope, I don't have any questions as of right now. I'm just listening in.
Okay, Michael, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sue. Hello, Sue.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Oh, good. Thanks. Thanks for being here.
Thank you always, gentlemen, for having a extremely insightful, program in that. For the individual who said, calling up and not getting the right answers, it's like having 3, 4, 5 clocks in your house or a clock in each room. Therefore, you never know the time. And I too follow up, with questions, whether it's Social Security or any company where I'm dealing with my clients, and I always get 2 answers. So you've got to dig deep all the time. As for this debt, situation, it just tells me one thing, that what they're trying to do is leverage, political chaos, if you will, to get their own way. So, it reveals to me that nothing is sacred out there. They seem to change laws or whatever. And to me, overall, the core issue is the undermining of individual rights, okay? Because this is not an entitlement, it is ours. And if they keep going at this thing time and time again, regardless of which side or which key so-called politicians, when they're supposed to be elected officials, it just means we're always at risk. And someone should knock them at the knees, because, for people to put into this, from early ages all the way through till, 70 or beyond, and have this, jiggled out from under them or threaten each time, it contributes to senior stress, okay, which means we die earlier and they get our Social Security anyway. Okay, so that's just some input. So any comments, the 2 professionals here, Jim and Mark?
Jim?
Well, unfortunately, the political part of it is just part of the whole program. I would suggest, instead of us being put upon and stressed out by it, we should be contacting our representatives and putting the pressure on them and let them lose a hair or 2 over it. I also have, every clock in my house is exactly the same. They're within a second of each other, because I'm just I'll just say I'm a Virgo, and so that kind of thing drives me nuts. But I know what you mean.
Yeah. How about you, Mark?
I agree with Jim 100%. There's not much you could do about it. It's just politics. They're all politics. That's all it is.
Yeah, it drove us crazy at the local office when I worked there. We would run into the same thing.
Yeah.
There were times where we would close the office, or it would just be management there, and have the public come in, and
Jim?
we weren't serving the
Jim?
public.
Jim, you are really coming in duplicate, an echo.
Yeah,
Vibration.
I hear it on my side. So
Yeah, I can.
I'll cut back a little bit.
Okay.
I think Jim is the great vibration out there for all of us.
Okay. Anything else, Sue?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's also the media and or even, you know, elected officials who remain truly elected officials, that they're not constantly shooting down all this garbage all the time. And just for transparency's sake, you know, exposing, you know, stop saying, you know, what they're saying about this. This is not an entitlement. And just, you know, nip it in the bud, because every single year it's the same gerbil wheel. It's like, you know, what's that film with Bill Murray? Groundhog Day. It's Social Security Day, you know, once every single year, with all this games and showmanship over absolutely nothing.
Agreed, Sue.
Okay.
Any Social Security related questions you'd like to ask?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
It's just fine, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Did I get rid
Jesselyn,
of my echo?
you did, Jim.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. I just wanted to say I vote for Sue for president.
Okay, go for it. Grade her in. Okay. All right, let's go to Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi, everybody. My question is, if, let's say someone turns full retirement age in March, and then they file their claim the following September, 6 months later. So they someday will get their 6 months of deferred retirement credits. However, for the remainder of that year, will the benefit amount, because they didn't file on full retirement age and it's not December, will the benefit amount be based on the prior December, or will it be based on their full retirement age benefit amount? And again, this is they're 6 months past their full
Yeah.
retirement age.
Jim?
Yeah, it'll be based on their full retirement age amount, with no increases, like you said, for delayed retirement credits till the following January.
Okay.
But they will get their full PIA.
But they'll also get this 3 months that were in that current year, right? Doesn't the 6 months extend over years?
Well, I think he said you reached full retirement age in March and didn't file till September.
Oh, is that what you said? Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, PIA.
Thanks.
And then in January, they get the 6 months DRCs and the 4% increase.
Right, right.
And we've
the
been getting
COLA.
questions lately, do they then go back and give you that increase in your example back to September? And no, they don't. It just starts in January.
Got it, thanks.
Thank you. Richard. Hello, Richard. Okay, let's go to John. Hello, John.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. Richard's here. Hi, Richard.
Yeah, I forgot to unmute myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to share something with the audience. I took a continuing education course, so the history of Social Security, and you find out how much you really don't know. As we all know, the monthly payment of Social Security didn't go into effect until 1975. That's when you started getting monthly payments. But the other thing is that I found out that from 1937 to 1940, Social Security was a lump sum payment. There was no monthly payment benefit. You got a lump sum payment. The first reported applicant was Ernest Ackerman, who had 5 cents withheld and received a lump sum benefit of 17 cents. During those 3-year period, the average lump sum payment during this period was $58.06. The lowest recorded lump sum payment was 5 cents. So in other words, you paid into Social Security, it probably was only probably a month or something like that. And his total benefit from Social Security was 5 cents.
Richard, the first monthly benefit began though in January of 1940. That was to Ida May, $22.50.
Okay, right. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. 1940. What I meant is I meant the cost of living. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the cost of living. The cost of living.
Yes, we
That's what
Before
I figured you
1970.
Mhm.
Yeah, before 1975, cost of livings were done by an act of Congress.
right. You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah,
That's okay. Anything else?
I did have one question.
Okay.
I'm concerned about survivor benefits. I do a lot of research with them, and somewhere I read this, and I wanted to ask Jim about this. Survivor benefits. It's my understanding that the Social Security is going to require actual original documents for like birth certificates, divorce papers, marriage certificates, and so forth. And my understanding from what I read is Social Security has a very poor record of losing these documents and or misplacing them or can't join them to the particular person. Can you explain that a little bit more? So is that the case, Jim? And if so, it seems to me your best option is going down to the Social Security office itself, having them make the copies right there and not leaving them with them.
Yeah, you're right in the respect that most things Social Security requires either an original or a certified copy that you can get through the courthouse as long as you can feel the seal. The problem with mailing them in, we always blamed any lost documents on the post office. So Social Security never lost anything, but they're keeping documents for a long time. I talked to someone not too long ago, and they had sent in their documents over a year ago, and Social Security still had them because they hadn't acted on what they were looking for. So you're right. If you have particularly if it's an original document that you don't want to take a chance, I mean, it could get lost in the mail. It could get lost at the Social Security Administration, and then they have to mail it back. So if it's something that important, I would definitely take it in. They don't need to keep it. They just need to see it. They'll document their files, and then they'll give it back to you. That's particularly important for someone who's, say, a naturalized citizen. First of all, it says right on those documents you're not supposed to photocopy them. So you can't photocopy it, send it in. And if you mail it in and it gets lost, that's your original document. So those folks should always take their documents in. If it's important to you, I would take it in. You're right. You just don't want to take that chance. And they're not going to reimburse you for it. If it's a certified document, they're not cheap anymore. I think they're $25, $30 a lot of times. If it gets lost, Social Security is not going to give you $25 to go get a new birth certificate. But good news is most of the time they don't need a birth certificate. If you have a married couple where spousal benefits are being paid, and if the husband or the wife is willing to admit that they're married, then they'll take their word for it. So divorce decrees, they got to see those. But and I think the only other one, W-2 forms, they'll accept a copy. DD 214 is a good one. You don't want to lose that. Some of them you can't get copies of. They lost a bunch of them in a fire back in the 70s, and so they're just not available anymore. But that I wouldn't mail in either. I'd take it in.
Okay. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Let's go to John. Hello, John.
Mendoza?
Yes.
Good. How you doing?
They're good. You're from California. I know that.
Yes. Yeah. I like it when you do it the later day.
I know.
Hour. Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Big question for me. Real quick, before I ask the question, I actually have two. Is the first one is when we're applying and helping our clients apply for Social Security benefits or even Medicare, sometimes they say, oh, we can't finish. You got to wait for a number or the, what's it called? A code to be able to apply. What are the triggers that make that happen? Because a lot of times I can just do it right here, help my clients. Other times we got to wait on this turnaround time.
Yeah, sometimes if there's an issue in what Social Security has on their records and what you're putting in the documents for name or when they're trying to log in, that could be the issue. Shouldn't happen very often, I wouldn't think. If you're trying to file for a benefit that they won't let you do online. So for instance, somebody's getting their own benefit, now they're eligible as a spouse. They won't, last I tried anyway, they still won't let you file that application online. You just have to call Social Security, make an appointment. But if you're waiting for a code, other than just logging in the first place, then
yeah, we couldn't. They said we can't finish the application.
Yeah, and it just means there's a discrepancy somewhere.
All right, and then we took for example, they wanted a birth certificate. That was almost a month ago, and he still hasn't been cleared. I haven't checked today, but he still hasn't been cleared to get his Medicare ID.
Yeah, I think I go visit the office. They're just running way behind. I've talked to some people who are waiting 2-3 months, still haven't gotten anywhere. Either go visit his local office or go visit his local congressman's office and let them intervene.
Yeah, okay.
I guarantee you, it's sitting on somebody's desk, just waiting for them to get around to it.
Sure. So the main question I had was on the married without 40 credits units. Got a gnat in here. 40 without 40 units. How does that work? How do you know that the spouse can qualify if they have 0 to 39?
Yeah, even if you have 0 credits, you're eligible if you're married to your spouse for 12 months or more. He's drawing benefits or she's drawing benefits, and you're age 62. That's all you need.
So, okay, the parameters are somebody is drawing credits. The qualified person is already drawing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one.
They have to be receiving a benefit for you to draw your spousal benefit.
For the spousal benefit.
Yeah.
So if somebody's married an older person and hasn't got to that point, they got to wait.
Right.
Okay. But once that person starts drawing their benefits at 62 to 70 years old or whatever it is, the spouse can borrow those, or I don't know the terminology, but can also apply and get half the benefit.
Right. In that case, because they're full retirement age, they will get half of their PIA. So they just, as soon as that, in that situation, as soon as that person files for their retirement, their spouse will file for their spousal benefit and get half of their PIA. If the person who files for retirement is 62, the older spouse would still get half of their full retirement age benefit. It's not reduced because they took it at 62.
As long as the older spouse was at least full retirement age.
Right.
That's a little confusing.
As long as the older spouse is full retirement age.
So husband files at 62. The wife is 67. She'll get half of his PIA.
Okay. And if she's not FRA,
it will be
reduced for her age.
It'll be reduced for, okay, that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Camille.
John kind of actually asked my question earlier. I was actually doing this for some clients where we were looking at him taking his Social Security at 62. The wife is about 4 years younger. And then as soon as she turns 62 in about 4 years, she'll start taking half of his. And so correct me if I'm wrong, but I went to the Social Security website because they've got a great little calculator in there where I just put in what his PIA was, and then at what age she would elect to take Social Security. And they told me how much to basically reduce from his. Is that correct?
Right, if she would get, it's based on half of his PIA or full retirement age benefit. And then if she's 62, if her full retirement age is 67, then it's going to be reduced 35%. So she'll get 65% of his half of his PIA.
Okay, perfect. Yep, that's what I was doing. So I'm glad you asked that too, John, because that's the way I understood everything, and I'm glad I'm understanding it correctly.
Good.
Thanks, Camille. Julie's next.
Julie Barron?
Yep. Yes.
Awesome.
You, Julie.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. So I get a little confused because the rules all changed. I came to Denver and I learned with y'all, and then all the rules changed about the wives and all the things. So if a spouse is, say, 62, the wife, the husband is 67, does it hurt the spouse to start at 62 to get half of husband's until she gets FRA?
Jim?
Well, it reduces her benefit because she's taking it at 62. Doesn't hurt his benefit any. He still gets the same whatever he's getting. But her benefit is based on half of his full retirement age benefit, that PIA. But if she's 62, then it's also going to be reduced for age.
So can she, if she waits till her FRA, then she can still get half until she gets to 70?
Well, she'd just get half as long as he was alive. Or you're not talking about then filing on her own, are you? At 70?
Yes.
Oh, well, unless she was born by 1/1 of 54, she can't do that. She has to take her own first and then take any spousal benefit. They won't let you file just for a spousal benefit and save your own till 70 unless you were born by January 1st, 1954. If you're born after that, you can't do that anymore.
Like there's no spousal benefit after 1954.
Well, there's a spousal benefit, but only you have to take your own first. So it just depends on how much yours is. There may not be a spousal benefit if yours is high enough.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Julie. Let's go to George. Hello, George.
Hi, good afternoon. Just listening today. Thank you for the great information.
Okay. Thanks, George. Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, everyone. Also just listening today. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay. Welcome. Melanie. Melanie, are you there? Okay, Melanie, I owe you a gift card. I know that. Do me a favor, send me an email as a gentle reminder, please. Okay. This is why I won't forget this time. When you won the gift card last time, I was traveling. I think I was in Branson, Missouri, and I kind of forgot. So please send me an email. Thank you. All right. Darlene. Hello, Darlene.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
Good, thank you. No specific questions, but I did have a question that I posed to Mark and Jim. I think it was last week.
Yeah,
I
I know. I know.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to share the situation with the group because to me
Right.
it's always helpful to hear other situations. So we had a client, he is 73 and he has a minor son who was also receiving Social Security benefits. So they received this wonderful letter from the administration that basically said, so this was addressed to the father. You were the minor son's payee. You may have saved some money for him. If you have, you should return it to us unless you have already made other plans with us for handling it. So the father was a little bit beside himself because he's like, do I have to pay all this money back that my son received from the administration? So, which he does not, but Jim, I don't know if you want to share a little bit about this situation.
Yeah, it's pretty common, especially when a child reaches 18. Before they're 18, they need a representative payee, so the parent receives the money for them and they're supposed to spend it on their behalf. That said, a lot of times parents will save the money. And if you save the money, technically, when that child reaches 18, you're supposed to send whatever you saved back to Social Security. They don't keep it, they reissue it to the kid. So now the 18-year-old has his college fund of $40,000 or whatever it was you saved. But anyway, the letter that he received wasn't real specific. It just said, if you have saved any money, then you need to return it. Now, even if it's a specific one where they say, we've done pay accountings and we know you have $20,000 in the bank, you need to return that. You can make arrangements with Social Security. If you go in with the child and talk to the claims representatives and the child says, look, I know the money's mine, but if we take it out of this account, we're going to lose money. I have access to it, just leave it alone. Social Security will accept that. They just want to make sure that the child is getting it and has access to the money that's theirs. But you don't send all the money back, just any that you've saved. Usually what I tell people, even if you save it, just keep track of everything you spend on the kid, the school fees. You could even count whatever their share of the mortgage is and the groceries and all that. So you can kind of wipe out what the Social Security benefit. And then that way you don't even have to worry about saying, yeah, we've got all this money in this account. Because you can say, look, I spent it on them. If they went to a private school, you've got that. But even if they went to public school, you got school fees and playing sports, you got all that money. So it's pretty easy to show that you spent it all.
That was it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Did I
Darlene.
not answer you, Darlene?
No, she
Yes,
said.
you did. Yes.
Oh,
you did.
oh, he did. Oh, okay. I thought it was in my
he did.
court.
No.
Mark?
He answered. I just wanted to share.
Yeah, I thought I did, but because it's very familiar. But sometimes I might answer and not hit send or something. I've been known to do that once or twice. So
okay. Thanks, Darlene. Richard, you want to say something?
Yeah, excuse me. I just want to mention if anybody knows anything about the ABLE account, if they have an ABLE account money is not considered savings. By federal law, anything that's in that ABLE account can't be taken away as long as it's used for their benefit. And it was either last month or month before, Jim answered it for me because I was in that situation. Our son is getting Social Security disability based on my mother's and my wife's record, and she got a letter from Social Security saying that being a representative that they wanted to audit that. And where the issue came up is with the state of Minnesota, because the state of Minnesota, like a lot of states, are not figuring out how ABLE accounts work. And my son is sitting there with $25,000 in his ABLE account, and they were trying to cut him off of any kind of Medicaid benefits he was receiving, which by federal law they couldn't do. So all I'm saying is that savings, if you have money in an ABLE account, that is not considered savings as long as you're using it for the benefit of the disabled child.
Okay. Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's go to Donald. Hi, Donald.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
Good. I didn't have a specific question, but I was actually, to the gentleman's point from earlier, I was actually a little shocked to learn that the debt ceiling, if it's not obviously lifted, that stops Social Security payments. To his point earlier, I assumed that the trust fund was separately, but from what I understood, all tax revenues go into a general fund, and then even Social Security payments are dispersed from that fund as well. So that was just a little concerning for me, at least a little confusing for me. I thought it was separate. That's all.
Well, it is disconcerting to me too, believe me. Okay, thanks, Donald. Appreciate it. I don't know how to pronounce the last person's name. Taichin? Taichin. Anything you like to say? Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Go for it.
Yeah, name is Tai Chin. It just, there's no space between the I and the C. That's all. Yeah. I have a situation where we're going to ex-spouses. The man is 73, the PIA is 3,500. The ex-wife, 64, and her Amy is 560. But she also gets a government pension from the state of 1,050. I don't know how that would work out. Is that better off on her own? Or if it is claiming the benefit through the ex-husband, would that be more advantageous at 65 or 66? So I don't know the formula.
In that situation, she's probably going to be eligible for some on his record. If his PIA is 3,500, what's half of that? 1,750. And if her PIA on her own, which she'll have to file for first, but it's going to be subject to windfall, sounds like. And so it's going to be lower. And if she gets a, what was it you said, 1,050 from a government pension?
Yes.
Yeah. So what, 2/3 of that, let's just say 2/3 of that 700. So they'll subtract 700 from any spousal benefit. But yeah, it sounds like there would be some benefit payable. So we would figure out her windfall PIA and pay her based off of that. And then we would take half of his PIA, subtract her windfall PIA, and that's her ex-spousal benefit. But we'd have to subtract 2/3 of her non-covered pension to do that. So if you want to send me the facts, I can do a quick calculation just to show you how it would work.
That would be great. How do I do that?
I just send it to Jay Blair, BLAIR, at mypremierplan.com. So same as Mark's, except Jay Blair. And then just give me the facts in the email and I'll respond back to you.
Great, Jim. Thank you.
Sure.
That's all I have for this time.
Thank you, Taichin. Appreciate it. Definitely.
I should give my email as M. Kiner at mypremierplan.com. Yeah.
Go for it. You don't want to
I don't want to be that way. I'll take the emails. I like them.
So there are some questions, Jim, we haven't answered that came through the chat. Does a minor who lost a dad get health benefits via Social Security in addition to child benefits?
No health benefits, no Medicare for the children. Only if the child himself or herself is disabled. If you have a disabled child after they've been drawing off of the parents for 2 years, then they can get Medicare, but they're the only ones.
Sarah's asking, what is everyone using for client-facing due diligence fact support resources? For example, Jesselyn's issue of the client challenging her position. I'm sure some of you have fact finder sheets. Most likely you do. We don't use a fact finder sheet. We just ask lots of questions when we get a phone call from a prospective client. So if one of you want to share what you use, that would be great. A question I think this had to do with having 30 credits instead of 40. I see you said Medicare Part. Oh, wait a second. Maybe that's it. Okay, so I see. Wait a second. I see you said Medicare Part A is free with 40 quarters, but Medicare Part A is also free if she's married and if husband has 40 quarters. Jim?
Yeah, and he's 62.
Right.
Doesn't have to be receiving. He just has to be 62, have his 40 quarters. And then even if you have no quarters, you can still get Medicare Part A premium free.
And I see Taken did send us some figures, but you're going to send us an email there. Jim, I need you to pick two numbers, please, from 1 to 22.
Well, let's go with 4 and 13.
13?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark Riggs. Congratulations. You won a $50 gift card. Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, 13. Sorry. Camille. You won a gift card also. Congratulations. Now, if you two want to send me a nice, friendly email to remind me that you won, that might make life a little easier. But if not, I did write your names down. I will definitely get to it. Definitely. So, Jim, any other questions from anybody else out there? Raise your hand.
Okay, cool.
I have a question.
Who is this?
It's Jocelyn.
Yeah, right in the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
So, having recently lost my husband, I called into Social Security and got my, I don't know what the right word is, that $255 death benefit. You know, that's been around for a very long time, but yet that is one benefit that never increases, and it's not even enough to put the nail in the coffin, so to speak. Any word on doing something with that?
Technically, it's 3 times the PIA, but it's capped at 255. So yeah, and as time goes on, it becomes less and less useful. You can't do much with it. If they're going to do anything, they would probably just eliminate it. But I don't know, maybe it's cheaper to not have to go through all that. But I haven't heard any word about any increases or anything like that.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but I forgot what it was on that issue. Yeah. All right. But yeah, Jesselyn, unfortunately, that's kind of the way it is. Jim, what type of questions have you been answering lately?
I've gotten quite a few with the disabilities, or with the children's benefits, getting those letters. I got one today where someone filed online for benefits, and they got a letter in the mail that says, basically telling them their claim was denied because they didn't file an application for supplemental security income, and they were confused with that. So remember, if you're 65 or older, technically you can apply for supplemental security income, SSI. You don't have to be disabled if you're 65. So if you help somebody apply for retirement benefits, it's going to ask you that question on the application. Do you intend to apply for supplemental security income? And many offices will send a notice. If you answer it no, the notice will say, well, your claim's denied because you didn't file an application for benefits. It's just a paperwork thing, but it just always confuses people. So don't forget to tell them, if you get the letter, don't worry about it. Make sure it says SSI, has nothing to do with your retirement. Go ahead and throw, you can shred that.
Jim, there was also an email. Somebody logged into their account and the account did not indicate any information about a potential benefit, because they said that there was something already being paid on the account, but the advisor said there's nothing being paid on it yet. So do you know what was going on there?
I'm not sure what happened. They did inquire about widows benefits, but they just inquired. They didn't file an application. Okay. So what I'm wondering is if maybe somebody started something where that application may be sitting there on, waiting to be completed. But, yeah, that one was a little confusing because if you're receiving a benefit, then when you go to look at your statement, it's not going to give you your benefit amount on your retirement. But this person wasn't receiving a benefit, so it should have been on there. And what I told him was either call the 800 number or go into the office, and neither one's ideal because it's not fun either way. But unfortunately, this person should have asked, how come? Because there have been instances in the past where somebody files on somebody else's work record and they're receiving a benefit, and then you don't find out until that person gets ready to file on their own. Doesn't happen often, and it's one of those fraud things, but it's just always best to check.
Jim, somebody's asking a question about withholding. You can't do that online, can you?
No, you can't withhold online. You have to do that with the folks at Social Security.
Yeah, fill out the form W4V, and you can't change it online either, unfortunately.
No, you just have to send in a new one if you want to change it.
Yeah, I don't understand why you can't. They can't allow for that to be done online. It doesn't make any sense.
They probably could. It's just they're working on other stuff, and it's not top of their priority list.
Jim, let's end our open forum with discussion on the restricted application. So how many applications have you taken over the past 2 weeks?
For a restricted app?
Yeah.
Zero.
How many clients have you met with over the past 2 weeks that can still do a restricted application?
In the past 2 weeks, probably zero.
About the past month?
Maybe one or two, not many. Most everybody's already not old, or they weren't born on time. The only ones I'm running into is occasionally someone will contact me about they're approaching 70. We dealt with them in the past. Now they're approaching 70 and wanting to file on their own. Those are probably about the only ones we're running into anymore.
Got it. Have you folks had any restricted apps that you've dealt with over the past 2 to 4 weeks? No. I guess at one time, Jim and I were saying like 1% for every month left. So 12 minus 5 is like 7% of folks can still file a restricted app. I don't think it's that high, Jim.
No, not anymore.
No, I think I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5% maybe. It's so few and far between. However, though, just keep that in the back of your mind. If you're meeting with somebody and they're born by that magic birthday at 1/1/54, then at least consider the restricted application. It's always an opportunity. Anything else from anybody before we zoom off today? Yeah, John.
So if somebody's 65 or retirement age, 62 and above, and they have minor children, how can a minor child get a benefit? Do they have to be disabled, or can they just start getting a benefit?
Well,
they're minor.
Go ahead.
If they're under 18, they don't have to be disabled. They just have to be unmarried and under 18. They're eligible.
Only if the beneficiary starts their benefits.
Right.
Yeah. Parent has to begin a benefit or deceased.
Parent has to begin a benefit or deceased. Okay. And anybody 18 and 364 days and under?
Up to age 18, and then if still in high school, up to age 19.
Up to high school. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing past age 19.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.